A little while back, I misinterpreted something that YouTube had put as a suggestion about how we might reach fans and subscribers as a new feature that they had rolled out. So, as you can see here, I wrote trying out this new suggested feature in YouTube, Caption Contest. YouTube was just telling us you should run caption contests. So, I did that with this image from one of my intro to philosophy classes at Marist College back in about 2011. And there were a number of interesting captions for it and queries and questions and comments. So, two that came up right away, Lenny Penny wrote, I want to know the context for this picture. And Jeffrey Bailey asked, where was this at? So, of course, the answer to that is it was at Marist College in Poughkeepsie, New York. I had recently moved up there in 2011, leaving my position as an assistant professor up for early tenure and promotion. I moved up to the Hudson Valley to be with my, at that point, fiance, now wife, Andy. And I began teaching as an adjunct at Marist College, where I got to teach intro to philosophy and ethics classes. And so, Aristotle was one of the people I wanted to teach in intro to philosophy, and we did the metaphysics, book one. So that talks about different causes, and you notice that on the screen behind me, or rather the chalkboard behind me, there is a diagram about the different four causes: efficient, final, formal, and material. And I was using props that day to demonstrate it. So I brought in my dad's old banjo. It's been my banjo for really decades now. And I thought this would be a useful way to convey things. And the students really responded to it. They always love when you bring in any sort of, unusual things. And a banjo is probably better for that than a guitar. I also brought in a recorder that day as well, and I think I might have used a sandwich as another example. So that's what was going on. You can see me here basically walking them through things about the banjo and its causality using Aristotle's ideas. So I said, caption this, and people did. The first three captions were really about you might say, jokey things that have to do with music. So the first one, the banjo at the gates of dawn, not really about banjos as such. That's a reference to Pink Floyd's Piper at the Gates of Dawn record, but I thought that was kind of funny. Then somebody had something that was specifically about banjos. Foggy Aristotelian Breakdown. I think it's Foggy Mountain Breakdown is kind of an old-timey banjo song. And then we have, so I was reading Foucault Down on the Bayou. Foucault, of course, is a French philosopher and historian, and banjos are associated with, among other things, Louisiana. And so that makes a bit of sense. Then there were some other good comments as well. Probably only fellow banjo players will get this one, but how about philosophizing with a claw hammer? So, who is the philosopher with the hammer? That would be Friedrich Nietzsche. And claw hammer is a particular style of playing with the banjo that I actually do myself use from time to time. The next one, I kind of get a kick out of this one. I can just play this banjo until you're all ready to settle down and pay attention. I can play it all day. Your choice. This is a bit of a side note, but there's always this notion that like banjo playing is somehow, like bagpipes. It's not for everybody, and maybe it would be a punishment to play it in a class or something like that. The next one, dialectic banjos, Aristotelian deliverance from Endoxa. They managed to really pack a lot of ideas into that one. So instead of dueling banjos, dialectic banjos. Okay, it makes sense with Aristotle since he does talk about the dialectic process, and dialectics involve endoxa. These are common ideas about things. And of course, Deliverance is the movie where dueling banjos is a major part of the soundtrack. The next one, POV, you try to get into philosophy by reading Kant and end up losing your mind. I thought that was kind of funny. It doesn't really have much to do with the banjo per se, but I thought that, reading Kant, you could lose your mind, and maybe then you bring a banjo to class. The next one, Wittgenstein ending philosophy circa 1921, colorized. The idea would be that very improbable that Wittgenstein would do so with the banjo, which was actually an instrument used in bands at that time. But, I don't know that Wittgenstein had any connections to music per se, but I might be wrong about that. And then the last two are particularly good. So I really like this one. Yeah, that's how I beat the devil in a banjo contest when he came up here and tried to get me to give up my book collection. So, there's the old story about the devil going down to Georgia. Now that has to do with a fiddle, not a banjo, but it's still sort of a, country instrument. And, beating the devil in a banjo contest, I guess would be quite a thing to do. And last, and definitely not least, we have from Virginia Charlotte, a little poem. Someday we'll find it. The metaphysics, four causes, the matter, form, agent, and end. All of it's under its spell. We know Aristotle is magic. La 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 la. And I imagine this is supposed to be a song set to music, so kind of a nice response there as well. So those are the best of the responses that I got from this particular caption contest. I thought I would share the results of my mistake with you, and some of you might get a kick out of it. I'll put a link below to a video where I'm actually discussing this banjo in question. You can click see more, and I'll also put a link to the Aristotle lecture as such from this particular class, so you can click on that as well. But I'll do more of these caption contests in the future if people are interested in them. I'll find some other good images, maybe from classes or maybe from some other things, and we'll see what people come up with, and then I'll make some videos about them.